Okay, so here we are on our last circles section, and it's in Unit 6. So make sure you go into Apex Unit 6. We're all done with Unit 5. And this is just about the formula that we're going to be using when graphing a circle. And so first, let's just go back and review a little bit about circles. All points on a plane that are the same distance from a single point is what defines a circle. And the center is the point exactly in the middle of the circle. The radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the edge. Okay, the solution set for the equation of a line is all the points that are on that line. And the solution set for the equation of a circle is all the points that are on that circle. So if this is my circle, you've got this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, all the points that are along that circle. That's called the solution set. So the center of the circle is here at the origin in this picture. And we can go ahead and label that as 0, 0. And the radius r is this distance here out to the edge. Go ahead and label that radius r. And then the point where the radius meets the circle is some point xy. Do you see this little triangle that's formed with that radius and the base? So if we've got this distance right x and up y, this could be Pythagorean, right? Like your distance x and your distance up y. So we could say x squared plus y squared is equal to that r squared. Or to find the distance r, we would use the distance formula. We would say, using the point xy, that x minus y or x minus the origin 0 and y minus y, the origin 0, is just going to give us x squared plus y squared. This is the distance formula. And that's where this equation, Pythagorean and the distance formula, is where this equation comes from for the equation of our circle. So here we go, standard equation for a circle centered at origin, meaning that the origin is at 0, 0. That's my center. So r equals the radius of the circle. In this equation. X is the x-coordinate. Of the point on the circle. And y is the y-coordinate. So just like the image above, you've got the origin 0, 0, and you've got some point xy on that circle. So we see that when you make the circle bigger, the radius gets bigger. And when you make the circle smaller, the radius gets smaller. And so we conclude that the size of the circle is defined by that length of the radius. So let's take a peek. If we had this equation, x squared plus y squared equals 25, we would say that the center of that circle is at the origin, 0, 0, and that the radius is the square root of that end number. That's my r squared. So my radius is going to be 5. And likewise on this next one, we know that the center is going to be at the origin of 0, 0, and we look at the end for the 64, so we see that the radius would be 8. Go ahead and pause the video and try to write the equation for this one. Center 0, 0 and radius 7. All right, how'd you do? Did you get x squared plus y squared equals 49. When you move the circle left or right, what number changes in the equation? We notice that this is the x-coordinate of the center. When you move the circle up or down, we notice that this changes the y-coordinate of the center. So our standard equation for any circle, not just at the origin, is going to be x minus h squared, y minus v squared equals r squared. R still stands for the radius. XY is a point on the circle, but HV is the center of the circle. So this is when the center is not the origin. So let's go check this out. Do you see how in this one, instead of just saying x squared plus y squared equals 25, right here there's a 1 and a 2? So that means that the center is at 1, 2. Looking at the next one, they gave me the point, and I'm going to go write it into the equation. I'm going to write x minus a negative 3. Notice how that turns into x plus 3. And then y minus 5 squared equals 6 squared. Okay, look at the next one. X minus 0, there's my 0. Y plus 6, there's my negative 6, equals 9, so my radius is going to be 3. And finally, x minus negative 2, there's my minus 2. Y minus negative 4, there's my negative 4, is equal to 49. It's my 7 squared. To write the equation for any circle, we need to know, where's my little drawing tool? Its radius and its center. So if we have that center and we have that radius, or we have the equation to get those two things, then we can graph it. You can use the equation of a circle to graph the circle on an xy plane if we find the coordinates of the points of a circle. All right, now let's go do the practice of what the apex quiz is going to be like. So notice that this right here is counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Notice the scaling there. So for me to write the equation of a circle, I just need to know the radius and I need to know the center. So my radius is 2, 3. Do you see how it's right in between there and it's counting by 2s? My radius is 3 and my center is the origin. So what's the equation going to be of a circle with the center at the origin? It's going to be x squared plus y squared equals 3 squared, or x squared plus y squared equals 9. Next, 2, 4, 6, 7 is my radius, also with a center at the origin. So equation goes x squared plus y squared equals 7 squared, or x squared plus y squared equals 49. Okay, for this one, we've got the equation for the circle below is telling us already that the radius is 81. So there's my 9. What is the radius of the circle? You say r squared is equal to 81. So r is 9. The equation of the inner circle is 4. So this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're telling us that so r squared So that radius of the inner circle is actually 2. Okay, right here, this is 2. And they're telling us that the radius of the outer circle is 4 times the radius of the inner, or 8. And then they want the equation for that big one. So it's x squared plus y squared equals 8 squared, or x squared plus y squared equals 64. All right, now they're moving this away from the origin. So notice that my center is at 1, 2. So I'm going to write x minus 1. Remember that a right shift of a function is a minus in this equation. Y minus 2. Remember that an upshift in a function is a y minus 2 in the equation. And then my radius here, can you guys see that it's basically, this is counting by 2's. And so this is going to go radius of 2 in either direction. So x minus 1 squared, y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. On this next one, we're still counting by 2's. So this radius looks like it's at 3. And the center, oh, it actually says it in the question. Sorry, guys. So the center is at -2, -3. So here I go writing my equation. X minus a -2 becomes x plus 2 squared. Y minus a -3 becomes y plus 3 squared, equal to my radius squared. So that's going to be equal to 9. How'd you do? All right, this one has a radius with a length of 4, and the point is 5, -2. So x minus 5 squared, y minus a -2 squared is equal to 4 squared, which is going to be 16. Radius of 6 on the next one. So x minus a -1 squared, y minus 2 squared is equal to 6 squared, which is just going to be 36. So the circle below is at -3.2, -3.5, and has a radius of length 5.5. Write the equation. So x minus -3.2, y minus a -3.5 is equal to 5.5 squared. So let me go grab my calculator. 30.25. And last, we'll go different color here. We'll go x minus -3.5 squared plus y minus 6 squared is equal to 1.6 squared. And then multiply that out if you want and get that radius. So 1.6 times 1.6, 2.6. Sorry, 2.56. All right. Last, there's a number 11. Graph the circle of the equation x squared plus y squared equals 16. What is the center? The center is 0, 0. Notice there's no numbers with the x and the y. Radius is going to be 4. And so we go put the dot at 0, 0. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in all directions. And then do your best to connect your circle and make it look not like mine. Next one has a center at +2, +3 with a radius of 3. So +2, +3 with a radius of 3 in all directions. and then connect it. Okay, go take Apex Quiz 6.5.3 and see how you do.